How y'all doing? My name is Mark Jones. I regularly attend Radiant Church here in Brandenburg. I call it my church home. Being 63 years old, that's the first time in my life that I've actually had what I call a church home. I was born and raised in a little farm town in Paris, Illinois, South Central Illinois. Learned some good work ethic growing up on a farm. And my grandfather instilled some good things in me. However, I grew up with a severely alcoholic, abusive father. Struggled as a child. There were, quite honestly, Christmases where my sister and I got up and got a hug for Christmas. And that kind of stuck with me over the years. We didn't ever attend church. I would occasionally go with my grandparents. But I actually felt more nervous at church than I did welcome or called or anything like that. Struggled as a child. My father, like I said, was an alcoholic, but he had a hard work standard. He demanded perfection, which made it a little difficult on me because I had a stutter when I was a child, struggled in school. When I became a teenager, my father had left when I was 8 years old. I saw him briefly, but I more or less became the man of the house at a very young age. But due to my father's particular type of upbringing, toughness mattered more than heart or compassion for people. So I struggled in school to make friends. We moved constantly. Never felt really complete. The more you could fight, drink, and chase the opposite sex, that made you a man. And we all know that's not true. Never could find my way, had all kinds of different jobs. I was a hard worker, and then finally got tired of that life and joined the military, which was good for me to a certain extent because I found some self-confidence. I found that even though I had struggled previously in school, that I wasn't unintelligent. Actually, if someone had told me when I was 17 years old that I would go on to become a flight engineer and a flight engineer instructor, to not only travel the world and serve my country, but to be the personal escort for the Secretary of the Navy and work in Washington, D.C., I would have laughed at him, honestly. But it did happen, and I'm a little bit decorated for that. I'm very proud of my service. However, back again to struggling, still, as an adult into my 30s, never, even though I was a believer in God, still didn't go to church, had no Christian friends, and in the military, started drinking again, kind of headed back down my father's path, and always felt completely, I knew there was always a big hole inside of me, always. Because of the upbringing and the alcohol and the moving and my father's upbringing, made some poor choices. I was married twice. I have 4 wonderful children, love them all. Unfortunately, due to past, and some of you may or may not be able to relate to this, my oldest one, my daughter, hasn't spoke to me in 26 years. Breaks my heart, still love her, pray for her every day. I have 2 grandchildren that I've never met, not allowed to. And that's what poor decisions can get you, and growing up without the Lord. But not everybody has that choice, and it was just a life thing. And I regret lots of things like most of us, but I have faith. Even though I had accomplished a lot in the military, still had that big empty hole inside of me. And finally got tired of struggling. I dealt with some PTSD after the military. I'd served in the Persian Gulf War. Actually got to a point in my life where I was sitting in my garage one night and started praying. I had a pistol in front of me. I was considering taking my own life. I was just tired of the struggle. And so I prayed to the Lord. And even though I've been a Christian since I was 47 years old and I'm 63, I'm not one of those people that regularly hears from the Lord. I try to listen for his voice. But that particular evening, I heard loud and clear. and when I prayed, and he said, in the Bible, I can't quote the exact verse, but it was clear what the Lord was saying to me. And he said, if you lose your life, you'll find it. And I thought, okay, I didn't really hear that, But so I put the pistol away, went about my business, struggled. And one thing led to another. I gave my life to Christ. I was on fire for the Lord. The church that I had been going to, the pastor suddenly left. Things changed inside the church, and I kind of lost my fire and lost my marriage. And the Lord, again, told me, if you lose your life, you'll find it. And part of my testimony is that part of my poor decisions as a youth, when I was 17 years old, my 15-year-old girlfriend, who I loved, got pregnant. Unbeknownst to me, her parents forced her to go have an abortion. And her father, unbeknownst to her, pulled me aside and told me to never speak to her again. So we went our separate ways. And after 41 years, I contacted her on Facebook. I hadn't spoke a word to her in 41 years. And the only reason I contacted her, I wasn't looking for a relationship or anything. My sister had passed away, and from suicide, by the way. Again, my father had a big influence on both of us. My sister and my present wife were best friends, and I thought that Gina, my present wife, might like to know that my sister passed away, and that's the only reason I contacted her. And when I did contact her, I didn't hear anything back for almost 2 years. And the reason I didn't hear anything back from her is because she had gone through a terrible incident where her husband of 30 years, she and her husband were in a terrible motorcycle accident, and her husband was killed. And one thing led to another. We started talking, and I prayed and prayed and prayed, and was going through a terrible divorce. And the Lord told me again, if you lose your life, you'll find it. And I literally, at that point in my life, packed everything that I owned into my Jeep, and I moved to Kentucky so I could be near my present wife. And I left everything behind. And when I turned the key in that Jeep that day, I told the Lord, I said, this is for you, Jesus. My life, my past is over. I go for you. And I have not regretted that day at all. The Lord led me here, and I've never, ever been happier in my life as I am here in this county, in Kentucky. The people that are so receptive to me, that have accepted me, my church family. I have never been closer to the Lord, and made a couple of friends here at Radiant who invited me to man up. And my gosh, to know, to go to that first meeting and look around and know that I wasn't alone, that I did not struggle as a lone Christian, that there were men just like me out there. And the thing about Man Up is that men from all ages, all walks of life, some of them been going to church their whole life. Some of them are like me, didn't grow up, have struggled with issues. But it's awesome. It is awesome to have that, share the camaraderie and be with another group of Christians, no matter what denomination they are in, and have them lift me up and prop me up, just like the Bible tells us to do in Proverbs. Iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. And to look around and see these men and know that we're all on the same mission, and we can share with each other and praise the Lord and help each other to go out in this community and do what Jesus says. Matthew 10, hey, the harvest is ripe, the workers are few. Pray that the Lord of the harvest brings more workers. And I look around when I'm at those meetings, and I see these men who are on the same mission as me, They struggle just like me. They have the mountains and the valleys just like me, but they're willing to be men. And in our current age, where men are looked down upon anymore, and our masculinity and our leadership is challenged constantly, we all need each other, and we do need to sharpen each other, and we do need to lift each other up, and we do need to lead our families. And Man Up has really reinforced that for me. And I feel so very confident to be able to walk out in the community and go to the gym and wear this shirt and openly talk to people, where I would never have done that before. I used to always keep to myself.